Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to see you, so many of you here, and have a chance to give an update of Savo Solar, the company who is producing the most efficient solar thermal collectors in the world and has taken the solar thermal technology to the next level. And I apologize that my presentation is in English. I think that in the question Q&A we can then speak a bit Swedish, and I do my best to do that also. This is the content of my presentation. Firstly, some words about the company itself, and then the financial numbers last year, and most of my presentation will take time to focus on where we are now and how our future looks like. So this is what we do. Our focus is the large-scale solar thermal installations for district heating, process heating, and such things. This is from Denmark. This is our mission. So we are a technology company. We are producing leading technology with which our customers are able to produce more competitive, clean energy. And via that we are doing our share of helping the world to go towards the solar economy. Our vision is to be the first choice to anyone who wants to build a high-performance solar installation in the world. So they would first call to us and ask whether we would be able to produce or deliver the field for them. The leading technology, the core of the leading technology is the highest, the most efficient solar thermal collector, and this is how you measure it. So how much energy you produce from a square meter of a collector in a year, so kilowatt hours. And all the comparisons and tests made of customers and any institutes have been showing that our collectors are clearly producing more energy per square meter in a year than any other competitor's collector. And this is the core of our competitive technology. These are the last year numbers. So we practically had 100% growth last year compared to the previous year, thanks to the big Danish project we were delivering and manufacturing. We made still last year losses. We were learning from the first big project we were manufacturing, and we did a significant amount of development work during those projects. When we are growing, we are also able to improve our profitability further. Our balance sheet, equity and cash situation in the end of the year was in really good situation thanks to the successful IPO and the rights issue end of the year. Our last year's major achievements can be divided basically in two fronts. First of all, thanks to the big Danish project, we have been able to grow last year and this year. And then the second part is the successful IPO and rights issue. And after these issues, we have more than 2,400 shareholders, mainly in Sweden and Finland. And I also thank you for the trust so many of you have been showing to us. The financial forecast we have been publishing is saying that we are planning to at least double our turnover this year again from last year. Our operative margin is estimated to be negative, and when our volumes are growing, we will be able to change that also. Our target is latest 2019 have turnover 20 million or more. To support our growth and other targets, we have been lucky to get now new, very competent board members to help us to achieve this. First of all, we have there Mr. Kent Granlund, a Swede, who has long and wide experience in top management positions in international companies. And he is certainly able to help us to make better strategic decisions and improve our efficiency of our operations. Secondly, Mr. Christoph Guy. He is a German. He has a 37 years experience solar thermal industry and in addition to that, very deep industry-specific knowledge on the technology and markets and players in the field. He has a vast international network, and we believe, and we have already seen, that it will be very helpful for us when we are looking for entering new markets and looking for partners for different markets. He has been living in Canada and China and quite a few European countries. Then we have Mr. Michael Mattsson, a Swede also. He's here today with us. He is an investor and entrepreneur and knows the Swedish stock market extremely well. He will definitely contribute us in the investor relations and all the financial aspects of the company. And when we add here, then Fedor Aminov and Sami Tuhkanen, who has been several years in our board already, we have a very competent board, and I'm confident that they will be helping us significantly to achieve the targets we are having. We are continuously developing our products, and this is a list what we have achieved 2015 and 2016. There are a lot of things we have been done to improve our efficiency, our operations, the costs, but there are also things that we have been developing to add value to our customers. The main thing from this list is the new large area collector we have developed to have a double glazing on top of the collector to improve the insulation in the higher temperatures. And this collector now is the new record setter on the performance of large-scale collectors. Some of them may have seen some pictures or videos of our production in Mikkeli, eastern part of Finland. Just wanted to show you what we are doing there. And these are the main phases in our production. So we have absorber manufacturing, we have absorber coating. This is the, let's say, the core of our competence and where the whole company have started the vacuum coating of an absorber. Then we have a collector assembly, and then of course packing and logistics. And when you see the size of the collectors, this is also sort of state of the art of thing you have to focus quite a lot. I also wanted to show you what we have been achieving and what we are doing. So the coating line is running now in 3 shifts. And we are planning to do now big investments this year, or doing big investments this year, to increase the capacity, to double the capacity. In absorber manufacturing, we have done already quite a lot of small investments and improving just changing the methods, and we have been already now been able to double the capacity and then significantly improve our quality level on that. In assembly, we are increasing the automation level of the assembly, which is very evident when we do that in Finland. And then in the packing and logistics, we have been able at least halve the costs from what we have been doing so far, including the packing and transportation, and then also the installation part of that. Still focusing on the total cost of that. In addition to our factory work, we are doing things on the customer field at the site, and this is what they are happening. So first there will be pipes in the ground, then the ramming of the piles, the foundation, and this is amazing how accurately this can be done with the GPS. So they are 2 centimeters accuracy where they are. Then mounting and fixing the collectors, connecting them, and finally then connecting them to the piping system. And for this we naturally need a very good local partners. And the other thing here is that we also have quite a lot of new innovations and IPR in that. As an example, that how we are able to put these collectors very close to each other, which is improving the efficiency and competitiveness, especially when the land is expensive, when you go to Germany or in the roof or something. The market itself looks promising, even though in Europe the small systems is declining. Globally in Africa, in Southeast Asia, China, South America, the market is growing, but in Europe the small systems are going down. But at the same time, the large systems are coming more and more popular, not only in Europe but also elsewhere. And this is actually where we are focusing in. and where we have the best possible solution. And actually there's very few competitors globally in this, so it is a very promising market segment still. For district heating, Denmark is still the #1 in the world. So they are installing a lot of large area systems for district heating solutions, and the potential is still high. At the same time, German-speaking countries, mainly Austria and Germany, they are planning to install even more large systems. The market potential is estimated to be even bigger. And then there are also some other countries who are putting more and more, let's say, medium-sized, 1,000, 2,000 square meters and bigger-sized fields. I have listed some of them, and Poland actually looks very promising now, and we'll see some development happening there. And I'm keeping Finland there also, at least as a hope, that even our Finns are able to understand the cleverness of this. It will happen. We are also doing activities outside Europe, even though we are focusing now very much in there. So these are some examples that has been inquired from us, and we have done quotations, so we are working with and looking forward to get some deals done pretty soon in the future. And actually we just a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, got an order from Ukraine for solar thermal cooling. So there's a school that will be built, and they will do a cooling for the school with the solar thermal collectors. So, and we are delivering our collectors there. Of course, I know Ukraine is in Europe, but it's not very well-known solar market yet. And then the orders we have received so far. So Jelling is the biggest order we have received so far. It's 2 million euros. This is 4 weeks old, this picture, and actually it looks the ramming piles are now, it looks like, I don't know how well you are seeing it, but now more than half of the collectors are already installed there, and it's going all the time. This is Söllested. This is one of the orders we received this spring, and this is very interesting in that sense that this is the first delivery we are doing together with our partner Dansk Energy Service, who is building the whole district heating system there, everything, and we are delivering together with them the solar thermal collector field. So we are training how to do this with the partner and then sharing the responsibilities in there. And this we will be installing end of June, beginning of July. Jyderup is the latest big order we have received, 1.5 million euros, and it's also including some parts of the turnkey delivery that we are doing ourselves instead of customer doing or separate partner doing that, and we are training ourselves how to manage that type of thing. And this is very interesting in that sense. It's very close to the, well, relatively close to the Copenhagen airport to take, for example, Finnish district heating people to look at that, how good it can be. And then, of course, we have Lokumkloster. This we started 2 years ago, and we have received 2 repeat orders from there, and totally it is now 15,000 square meters. This part here was installed, last collector was installed last day of February, exactly according to the schedule. And so they have now a brand new district heating plant with the water storages, our field 15,000 square meters. The whole city is here. The picture is taken in the beginning of March, and so everybody is getting heat from this plant. And the expansion, if they decide to do it, it's going to be huge. So we are working hard to keep the customer happy to get that order also then in the future. And then we have a small system, but it might be one of the most important things for the future, because this is Graz. So we have delivered the test field to Graz, 240 square meters. It is installed now, and the testing season is next summer. So they are testing different suppliers who could be delivering the big system. And for the big system, the latest news are that it's still in the designing board or planning board. But if the final decision would be that it would be size 450,000 square meters and would be ready, fully ready 2019. So they are still doing the calculations and testing on that, but it would be a significant project in Europe. The future, we already know now that we are doubling our turnover from last year. We have orders already that much that we are actually a bit more than doubling it. And there are still some quotations out that we should be delivering this year if we win, and I believe that they will be happening. Let's say officially, I hope that there will be some orders still for this year. And we have a significant quotation backlog also for the next year, and we are working on different fronts, many fronts, to achieve at least the same level of growth as we have been able to do last year and this year. And the short and long-term goals we have set to ourselves. First of all, we want to continue to be the innovative technology leader in the industry. As told and shown, there is a big market potential, and we want to, first of all, to be able to meet the need of the market and also then catch the opportunity, and that means that we have to grow and increase our capacity, and that we are planning to do. As also explained, we are looking outside Europe also. Next year, hopefully, there will be some deals already farther away. And as said earlier, that our plan is to at least, latest on 2019, have a turnover of 20 million euros. And we are also working hard and are very determined that the company will be also successful in terms of return on investment and paying back to the shareholders, investors who have been believing in us. So this is how you can follow us. We try to improve our activity on these things all the time. And this was actually all what I had to say, planning to say. So thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer the questions.
Tack så mycket, Jari. Varsågod, slå dig ner.
Ja.
Ska vi testa svenskan då? Men,
jag kan försöka.
Ja, det och känner du obekväm så gå över på engelska i så fall. Men det jag är mest nyfiken på till att börja med, det är ni får en så hög yield jämfört med konkurrenterna, så mycket bättre effekt. Kan du förklara det på något enkelt sätt, hur ni teknologiskt sett att ni ligger bättre till? How do you...
Kan du säga det på engelska?
Yes. How do you reach the high yield compared to the competitors? That was very compressed, wasn't it?
Yes. So the high yield is because of our absorber technology, basically. So we are having a different absorber than anybody else is having. I have some examples on the stand outside. I can explain it there, but we are using a very thin-walled aluminum profiles. So we are getting the least heat losses than anybody else is able to get in the collector because of that.
So the heat losses is the trick?
Yeah, the heat losses. We are able to reduce the heat losses as small as they can be physically.
Okay. Ni talar om tvåglasfönster. Och när jag tänker tvåglas, då tänker jag att om man har två glas, då måste det svårare för ljuset att komma in.
Ja, just det. Det är två glas här.
Ja.
Ja. Två glas, det menar att det har en bättre insulation.
Utåt, ja. Men hur får du in värmen?
Ja, det är sant. Du får lite mindre solenergi.
Just.
In.
Men bättre ut.
Bättre när du har högre temperatur.
Okay.
Det är en kombination vi måste kalkylera alltid hur det är. Och det menar också att om i systemet i anläggningarna i Danmark, de använder 30% med en glas och 70% med två glas.
Okay.
De menar att det högre temperatur har bättre insulation och det början av det fälte du har mindre temperatur.
Okej. Den här killen som säljer på Danmark, det verkar vara en duktig säljare. Varför har ni lyckats så bra just i Danmark? Vad är det som...
Danmark är det största marknaden i världen. Och det var för oss, det var vi måste vara där om vi vill göra någonting.
Om du ska vinna på den?
Ja, vi måste vinna i Danmark. Om vi, I have to say it in English, sorry. So I know it's funny, but I'm trying anyhow. So basically, the decision was that we have to be in Denmark, because if we are there, then we can be elsewhere. So we have to be competitive there because that is the biggest market, it's the toughest market. They are the toughest competitors, local competitors. And we have now shown that we can be competitive there. So we are first company ever to be able to enter successfully Danish market.
Okay.
And that is a...
Är det bara danskar i Danmark innan? Eller förstod jag fel då? Du sätter in den första som är... You're the first one going into the competitive Danish market. Is it because you are the only foreign company coming in? Or is it a lot of different companies inside Denmark?
So there's nowadays only one.
Okay.
But they are very good. And now we are better.
Okay. That's good. That's very easy
and that's why, for example, in Germany, they are very eagerly looking for us because we can show that we can beat the best competitor there is.
In their home market.
Yeah, well, the Danish company is definitely the best. There's the biggest and so on. But we are doing the better results to the customers than they are.
Kineserna. Kina har lagt flera olika program. De har bestämt sig för att bli världsledande på solar. Det är ju varit ett av deras mål, så att säga. De pumpar ut olika lösningar med alltså solfångarlösningar och liknande. Hur ska ni hantera kineserna?
In the world there are every year installed more than 50 million square meters of collectors, thermal collectors, and 85% that is done in China. There are thousands of suppliers in China who are doing collectors.
And they are not so profitable.
They are not. Well, they're two different. We are not producing electricity.
Yeah.
The companies are doing solar thermal, and the Chinese companies are not delivering very much to Europe because the quality, first of all, is not so high that is expected in here. And if they do high-quality collectors, which they definitely can do, and they are doing, the cost is pretty much the same because the material cost is so high. And even in China, they are now starting to build big systems. And we see that as a potential for us rather than a competition. So we are looking forward to find a way to bring our technology in China also.
But you're not afraid that your technology are going to be stolen by the Chinese?
Not actually.
No.
We have quite good protection, and the technology is not very easy to copy. Chinese can do whatever, I know, and in a way, I think that the right way to do there is that to find a partner and then let them copy, and we get some money out of that.
Okay. That's a trick. Har vi några frågor från publiken innan jag går vidare? En marknad som jag tycker är superintressant, det är, du talar väldigt mycket om heat, men alltså kyla är ju egentligen det som behövs i världen. För det finns fler människor i varma områden som behöver kyla, och det kostar mer att kyla ner än att värma upp. Så hur jobbar ni där?
It is possible to use heat to do cooling also, and there are quite successful big installations already in many places in the world to do solar thermal cooling. So you have solar thermal collectors, you have a chiller that is using the heat to make cooling. In small systems, it's not yet very economical. In big systems, you can do it if you design the system correctly. And actually, in our factory, we have now an office. Our office is cooled from this March by our solar thermal collectors. We have a prototype of a next generation solar thermal chiller we have developed together, a German partner, and it's working actually surprisingly nicely. And hopefully it will be next year a sellable product already. So, but it's possible. And the market potential there is huge.
It's very huge, but is it är det ekonomiskt jämfört med att ha bara en vanlig kylanläggning?
It is when you do a bigger system at this point. Smaller system, it's not economical yet. With our solution, what we are building up, we are trying to find a way to do economical solar thermal cooling in the middle size and then larger buildings, which are connected to the district heating, fjärrvärme. So that is the idea, and it looks promising.
Varför är ni inte inne på elektricitet? Varför gör ni bara cooling och heat? Varför går ni inte konvertera till elektricitet? Det är det som jag...
That was the decision in the beginning that we focus in the solar thermal. We saw that as a better business potential, and basically we have been so far right because the Chinese have taken the whole PV business, and there's a. But I think that both will be needed, solar thermal and PV, because they are different animals in a way, and we have a big infrastructure for heating everywhere in the world, and it's more economical to utilize solar thermal collectors and the existing infrastructure instead of building everything in PV. But with the solar thermal collectors, you are not able to do electricity. Both are needed, and they are complementing each other very well. But our path is for the solar thermal.
Okay. Jag kan bara nämna, du finns kvar utanför, det är bara att ställa frågor. Analysguiden, hoppas ni känner till. Jag kommer från Yard Securities. Vi har gjort en aktieanalys på ert bolag som ligger på webben, så att du bara läsa och sen kan ni ställa frågor också till oss om ni är intresserade. Mycket stort tack och lycka till.
Tack så mycket. Tack.
Då är det dags för Timo Lindberg från Sotkamos Silver. Välkommen.